We're going to jump right into it. My first video project 101. How to set up DIY lighting, backgrounds, camera stability, framing, sound, and content. Before you start this, you will have done a real quick practice on basic camera shots and movements so that you have kind of an idea of the type of shots you might be able to do for yourself. Anything in white are goals or directions, so you want to make sure you read so that you understand what you'll be doing. Anything that is in pink means that you will be watching videos. Now, you're going to be watching a lot of videos, okay? Because these videos will give you lots of different ideas on how to set up lighting and backgrounds, and this is really, really important for this first project. Anything that's in yellow is a question that you'll be answering, and these questions will help you to think about your project, like what you might possibly be doing and how you might approach it. So it's really important that you do all of this. Goals. You will create a basic first film project. What will be the topic? Well, the topic is going to be you, because it's always a lot easier to talk about yourself than something else that maybe you don't know about and you have to research. But it's easier to talk about yourself. In fact, have already created your script for this, because you're going to be answering these questions in day one activity about tell me something about you. And so whatever you responded to those questions, whatever your response was, that is what you are going to be using for this first project. All right, so first we need to understand lighting, either indoor or outdoor lighting, background setup, camera stability, headspace and framing, and sound. These are very important elements when you do video. All right, so the first step is to learn about lighting indoors. So I want you to watch these 3 videos, all 3 of them, okay? Don't skimp on this. Make sure you watch all 3 of these videos all the way through. And then I want you to answer these questions below. At what angle do you place the main light? And describe a possible indoor lighting scenario. You're also going to watch some more DIY lighting ideas for indoors. Okay, so I want you to watch these videos. I want you to think about some possible ideas as you watch these videos. Okay, so you have all 4 of them, and they're going to give you different ways to create indoor lighting using various tools that you might have laying around the house. So highly important you watch all 4 of these videos. Let's say you want to shoot outside. Well, if you want to use outdoor lighting, you're going to want to watch these 3 videos, because these 3 videos are going to show you different tips on how to set up outdoor lighting, okay? So make sure you read the tips on this page and you watch all 3 of these videos. So now you're going to think about what you can possibly do at home. I want you to explain tools that you already have on hand that you could use to create an indoor lighting scenario. Explain where you might be able to shoot outside at your home. Okay, so after watching these videos, you might have a couple ideas of good potential places to shoot. We're also going to learn about background. Background is really important. It can be extremely distracting if you don't do it right. So declutter is key. You want to declutter, remove things, keep things a little more simple, or have things out of focus in the background. It's called bokeh when you have something that's out of focus. So I want you to read this article. You'll click on this link right here. It's going to take you to an article to read, and that is what I want you to do. I want you to read this article here. Once you're done reading the article, then you're going to answer this question. How and what steps would you take to declutter and start creating a background space for video? So now you're going to watch some different videos on how to set up a background. So you're going to watch these 2 here, and then after that, you're going to go to the next slide and you're going to watch these 3 videos. Okay? So it's going to show you how to set up various types of backgrounds and what kind of tools you can use to do that. Even if you're outside, I want you to set up a background. Okay, even if you're using natural lighting outside, you're going to want to set up a background with some kind of fabric, or if you're using a wall, some different props that you're going to use in your background to make it a little more interesting. Okay, so you will be setting up a background, whether you're indoors or outdoors. How to make a tripod for your camera so that you have stability, camera stability. You're not going to be able to hold your camera and film yourself, okay? So here are a couple different ideas. You can use binder clips. Yeah, believe it or not, you can use binder clips to create a tripod. And also, believe it or not, you can use a paper roll, a paper towel roll, or even a toilet roll. I mean, it just has to be long enough to hold your phone. And then you can also use a paper plate to help create some base stability for your tripod. If you happen to have a little tripod already that's kind of flexible, like what you see here in the right-hand corner, then use it. Why not? So then I want you to tell me the type of tripod you plan on creating. Now we're going to experiment. We're going to go ahead and set up our background. Okay, we're going to set up our background for our video. We're going to make our lights or figure out how we're going to use fabric to like shine our lights through it. Where are you going to be standing or sitting in the shot? And I want to see a photo of your tripod, your camera tripod. Okay, so if it's something you made, then I want to see a photo of it. So you're going to place everything in here and you're going to explain what you're doing. Okay, so this is going to be done before you shoot or do anything. Okay, this is what you have to do first. And you're going to get graded for this before we even start any video projects. Camera frame ideas. It's really important that you have good headspace because you don't want to have too much. So here's some good examples. Too much headspace means that you just got like this big gap above your head. Good headspace is about 2 inches from the top to the top of your head or to the very top of the frame. About 2 inches and maybe 2 finger spans, okay? And then you don't want to cut your head off, okay? You also don't want to do that. So make sure you watch this video that talks about how to frame a video. Sound tips. Sound is so important. If you don't have good sound, in fact, you might hear in this video a little bit of like a buzzing noise. That's because I'm shooting in a room that has a lot of computers and a lot of like technology around me, okay? It's okay for this particular explanation of this project, but you do not want to shoot in a room where there's a lot of what's called technology noise or buzz, okay? So go somewhere like maybe into your bedroom where you're away from any kind of technology that might cause this buzzing noise, okay? Also, you want to make sure that there's no fans on, people talking in the background, loud cars, so you want to go into a really quiet space. In fact, the more pillows and blankets you have around you, the more it's going to bring down that volume so you don't have any echo, because you don't want echo either. Rubric. All right, I want you to carefully study this rubric. I'm going to be grading you on both your background and your lighting together, all right? So you need to make sure you have a good background as well as good lighting. So here are some examples of a 7 or 6 score and some comments as to why they are graded that way. And then here are some 5, 4, and 3 scores, and a 1 or 2. Well, if you get a 1 or 2, it's you just didn't put any effort into it, okay? You just turned the camera on and started filming. Here are some good examples of a 5, 4, and a 3 score, and explains why. All right, so carefully read these directions. These directions are going to walk you through the actual filming process. So once you have your background, your lighting, everything is all set up, you're ready to go, you photographed it, you documented it, so I know exactly what you're using, and I've already graded that. Like, that was done in the past. So you might have to reset it up again, but, that's just the way it is. So set up your background. And then I want you to have your script printed out in front of you or on your phone so you can easily read it. And I want you to film the whole thing. Just start at the beginning, look at the first question, repeat the question and answer it, then look back down. It's okay to look down because we're going to be editing this. We're going to be taking out the parts where you're looking down or whatever and you're not speaking. So look down at your question. Look up, back at the camera. Always have your eyes looking right into that camera, okay? Right into the lens, because we want to have good eye contact. So your eyes are looking right into that camera lens. And then you're responding, okay? And you're just going to do a couple takes. Just go through it all a couple times. Just go through all your questions and respond multiple times to those questions. And then you can go back and look at those different clips, and then you can take what is good. All right, that had a really good response. I want that one. Oh, the second video, question number 3, oh, that was a much better response. So I'll go with the second video. Oh, video number 4 was really good for my first response, so I'll use that video for my first response. So yeah, you might be taking different parts of your different videos and splicing it all together, and we're going to be editing this with WeVideo. Now, how do I set up my camera? Well, you can either have it set up in your tripod with the LCD monitor pointed back at you and you're looking at your camera, so you're kind of filming it yourself on your own. Now, the quality of doing that is not as good as if you were to just film directly from the lens on the front of the camera. But if you do that, you might need to have someone help you out. You might have to have them kind of like make sure the tripod is in the right place. They're going to check to make sure you have good head placement in the frame. And, you obviously you don't want to be bouncing around and moving around a lot because you don't want to be like out of the frame, right? So you're going to stay fairly still as you speak and respond. Now you're ready. Once you're done, you're going to complete this reflection critique. Okay. Now, your project is going to automatically save in WeVideo because that's the platform we're going to be using the first semester, and it'll save there. But I'm also going to want you to go through the process of downloading that video and saving it as an MP4. It'll then save to your Chromebook downloads, and then from there you can upload it into Google Drive. We're going to be using a Google Drive for our class, and it's going to be an actual shared drive, okay? And so then you're going to want to go into that shared drive, go to period, video production class, period folder, go into that folder, look for my first video project folder, and that is where you are going to save your MP4 of this project, okay? So it's going to be saved in 2 locations. I want you to answer these questions. I want you to look back at the rubric and tell me what you think you deserve for your background, what you deserve for your lighting, and then I want you to take an average of those 2 scores. So if you gave yourself a 5 on one and a 7 on the other, that's 12. You divide that by 2, that's a 6. So then you would give yourself an average score of a 6. All right? I also want you to take a screenshot of your project and place it here so that I can clearly see your background as well as your lighting. And then you will start to answer these questions here at the bottom. Like, how do you feel you did on the recording? Was there a background noise? Can you hear yourself well? Like, were you speaking loud enough, or were you talking really quiet like this? How about your video voice? How did you respond to the questions? Did you sound uncertain? Were you really confident? Did you pause a lot and not take that out? Because you want to have a nice flow in your speaking. You don't want to have these long pauses, all right? How well did you edit? Does each shot flow well into the next? All right, so that is what you're going to be doing for your final critique reflection for my first video project.